feel like I should do this.
We're live! You did it! We're alive.
Right on time. That is our story. You know what I used to tell my poor mom?
What?
I would say, I have a band thing and I have to be there by 6 when I really had to be there,
A little later?
Yeah.
I'll have to lie to my family too in order to get us out of the house on time.
That's always the case, man.
Mhm.
That is always the case. It's like herding cats.
I can't do that.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
What, is there an everybody? Do we have an everybody yet?
We have 4 people. I wonder how, is it like on the internet though? Because I don't know how people are.
Is it on that internet thing?
On that thing called the internet? I wanted to share it around, but I don't know if we're live somewhere. I see my picture all over the place on your wall though. Okay, I have no idea. If you guys can share it, because I don't know if I can or not.
Do we know how to share it?
Nope.
Good morning.
Good morning. Look, there's a share, but
Thank
that
you.
arrow next to end stream. Hi. Oh, we have a person. Hi, person.
A person.
Okay, so what up today? What are we doing?
Well, we decided to do a Q&A because we've been getting questions and really great questions. And it's really funny, though, because I'm not used to doing the Q&A. I like to listen to them, but I haven't really done one yet. And someone wrote in this question. It was a great question. I was like, I don't know. How am I supposed to? Oh, I need to go in and ask the guys. That's right. That's what we need to do. Yeah. So yes, today is a Q&A. But first, let's get caught up.
Okay.
What have you been up to?
Well, I already just shared all my secrets with her in the kitchen.
You don't want to go there again?
So, no, not right now.
Boy?
But, well, I always share my secrets, but, all in due time. But I am actually doing pretty good. I just keep, growing and evolving and healing and sharing my story. So that's where I'm at right now. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I just got back from a trip with my mom.
How was that? Did I get any presents?
I'm sure I have something I can scrounge up. It says Italy on it.
It doesn't even have to. You just go in your closet and say, look what I found.
It's from Italy. No, it was great. It was great. We had an amazing time. I think traveling with people can be really difficult. And my mom and I we like the same foods, Italian, thank goodness. And we kind of start to get sleepy at the same time.
Well, that's good. That's good
Yeah,
that you have a good travel buddy
really,
like that.
really
It
easy.
matters. It really does.
Especially when you're traveling for 8 or 9 days. It does. But we have but no, I had an incredible, and I'm working on it, and I don't want to give too much away because it's still like this big, like a flat grease spot in my head, like with no boundaries, no borders. It's no, it's this whole thing with the shift again, and that has been rolling around. And my Bob guide said, Bob, you actually went. When I had that whole vision back in 2014 about anyway, I won't go too far into it. They said you actually went. You were there. You're there now. So I'm getting more information. So actually, Allison Coe, I'm going to do a little bit of work with her at some point in the future to kind of go a little bit deeper and see what else we can get. So it's really very fun.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing what you come up with. I want your grease spot to,
it's sort of like the paint splat that goes, and then it goes back up. If you go, do you hear that bird? We have like this psycho bird outside. I love birds.
Is that your bird? Because I'm going to do an animal show soon, and we're going to talk to Jason's bird that comes and visits him.
Is it a real bird?
A red bird.
No, I have a bird. I grew up with birds, and so I just I find birds. I found a dove and like little baby birds. I found a starling. Well, starlings kicked these birds out, so I came back and I found this bird, and I was feeding it and doing all this stuff, and then I thought, okay, I need to try to put it back. So I put it back, and I went to lunch, came back, and I was like, I can't just leave this bird. So I took the bird, and I realized it wasn't my same bird. So I went back, and I had 2 birds. And anyway, I released them. I took them to this sanctuary place. That is so random.
I know, huh? How do we go there? All right. You know what? Let's start on some questions. How about that?
That sounds great. And I just want to tell you that this morning,
yes.
Well, I've been working on the questions, and I have been talking to the guides, and I've been channeling stuff. And I just want to show you my writing is not there. See these blank spots? That's where I wrote my answers. My printer didn't print it.
So we got to start from scratch and be smart on the fly. Wish us luck.
But we already sort of have the information. Okay. So do we just jump in, I guess? So
go ahead.
One Blue Love, which I would love to know your name because you have written me the most beautiful emails and very supportive, very, very sweet. So he wanted he wanted to know if do we feel that on some days we're really connected, and then and okay, you read it.
Okay, I'm just going to read verbatim.
Okay.
Do you guys feel on some days you are super connected to spirit and to yourself, super clarity, and the following day you are completely disconnected? Like the following day, you are your own worst enemy and ego is kicking your ass. Well, remember I just got done saying that I shared all my secrets in the kitchen?
Oh, they're juicy too.
You know what this reminded me of is how I was explaining to you about how I'm doing some transmuting. And when this happens, I don't always realize it's happening until I'm like deep in it. And yes, I am my own worst enemy. It's the shedding process, but I don't realize it
You're
at
molting.
the time. I'm mutating. Yeah, I'm
Back to the
molting
bird
and
thing.
peeling all the I know, and I just looked at the bird on the couch. I didn't even see that before. But yeah, so definitely one day I'm just like I'm flying high and I get it and everything just feels like it's as it should be.
Mhm.
And then the next day I'll crash and it's like, what the fuck is going on? And I don't get anything. So
Well, okay. So
yeah.
would you like me to answer to you and One Blue Love?
Yes.
Okay. So this is what my guide said basically, and I won't read it verbatim, but they said that this dimension is not set up for the communication and the constant ability to connect and stay in that high vibration, and that by coming here, we're trying to bring that in. Okay, I will actually read it. And they said that we are energetic, and that we are so impacted by the energies around us, and most of the people listening to this are probably empaths, so you are affected. And so there are a lot of things that play in, and so you're kind of like a rag doll. What they said, you're like a rag doll that just kind of gets thrown around until you really realize that, and you anchor. But in the micro, and they also said like other things can affect it. People, the Schumann resonance that comes in, I mean, that can go up. I think it's been up. I think we were talking about that before, but 69, and we're normally like 7.53.
Ooh, is that the thing where
megahertz.
like the collective humanity spikes and stuff on the chart?
No,
thingy?
but I wrote that, but no, it's
Oh.
not. It's where it's the rays that actually hit the earth. It's the electromagnetic energy around the world. And they said the micro explanation, it's an odd thing, even though our native state is one of connectedness and oneness and high vibration. When we go through the veil, when we come here, and the dials are turned way down, that's kind of what happens. So we really have to fight. So they're showing the infant stages of cell phones. They said, do you remember how calls were dropped? Not everyone had a cell phone. You get it. Not exactly reliable. They said the same thing goes here. It's like most of us, we have to start at the beginning and relearn the skill of staying connected, staying high, staying in that space.
That's a good analogy, the phone thingy.
Or maybe a better visual. I do deal with visuals and metaphors. That we have to unearth the skill that lies in us. They said Tom Brady, for example. He said he's an exquisite athlete, and he comes in with this raw ability, but he still has to practice every day to hone that skill. So we have to practice every day, and most of us don't. And emotions are kind of
you know what though,
make us run rampant.
I'm gonna go beyond this a little bit because we were all when I say all, I just mean my group and who I interact with.
In your group.
Yeah. Because you've talked about this too, about how, we spent a lot of time, a couple years now, trying to maintain that high vibration. But, and I'm not suggesting that we go low and we sink down, but it's okay to have a more earth vibration and just be human without having, that high connection. Just be.
Right.
Yeah. Don't put that pressure on yourself to always maintain that stuff, because be you.
You do you, sister. Well, yeah. So I hope I answered the question. The answer is yes, we do.
Hey, you know what I would like to try? Since this is like the first time we tried this, will you take like one moment to push that arrow and see if you can share it to Alice Eats the Apple? Because we have 9 viewers right now. That might.
I'm on Alice Eats. I think this.
I don't think it's on. I was on your page and it's not. I don't know if that will work or not.
Share. Was that copy? Yeah, I don't know.
And then look, share to Facebook. Look.
Where?
Up higher. Yep.
Did it be connected though? Oh, look, it is.
Okay, thanks for your patience, guys. We were just.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you can put it wherever you want on your story. Do you have, if you have a closed wall though, a closed page, then.
So am I not sharing this to? No, see, but they're getting on that way. Okay, sorry. As we digress.
Okay.
Okay, you ready to go to the new one? The next one?
Yes, go.
Is it on? Okay, so the next one. Oh, okay. So this is oops, this is kind of fun. So I'm sorry if I kill your name. Ilaria.
Ooh,
I met her
beautiful.
at the airport in Italy, and she's just amazing. She's darling. She said she has a few questions, and she said, "Did I perceive a change in my higher self once I became a mom? I mean, did your empathy and intuitions increase? Could you connect more easily with Mother Earth and their creatures, developing a better understanding of everything around us in general? Or this status can be gained from meditation only?"
Well, my personal experience is that when I had kids, I wasn't in a place of spirituality yet. I was still, this is pre-wake up. So that didn't happen to me. But now that I have woken up, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with this, but I do, really try to instill and teach and lead by example my spirituality and connecting with the earth. And, my kids meditate and they got their crystals and all that stuff. So I don't know if motherhood necessarily changed it for me, but that's a reasonable question because, you do get some kind of intuition going.
Spidey sense. You do get a spidey sense. Well,
yes.
I think it's sort of the chicken or the egg, I mean, I think that when, at least for me in my experience, before I had kids, it was really kind of all about me. Even if I had, I have great friends, I have family, but it was all about me. And when you have children, and especially babies,
Little
you're
kids.
anticipating their needs. You're really focusing on them to see.
It's the opposite of it's all about you. You truly, and it's a you want to, but it's a true sacrifice. You don't have a life anymore. Everything is about them, their needs.
Yeah, but
that's
you're
just the way it
reading
is.
them because you're trying to anticipate what's going on. So I think it's going back to that. It's a muscle, and I think the more we use it, the more in tune we get. And I think that there's
good point.
That there are some people that are really spiritual. They're wanting to go there. They meditate, and some that don't. And it doesn't mean you're not going to be a great mom. But I think it does cultivate that. I think that it takes you deeper into yourself. But it was funny because she said something about, or do you get that? Can you only get that deep
through meditation?
Yeah. Nope. And I laugh because I don't meditate. But
she's not a meditator.
Though it does get stronger and clearer when I take time to tune in and focus. Shit, that's meditating.
Yeah, it kind of is. And, don't underestimate the power of intention, because if you just put that thought out there into the universe, I would really like to have more mama intuition.
I don't know if that's what she's asking.
Oh, I don't know, but you can still do that.
I think it well, another thing I think is that it's love. That I think love has a way of cracking you open. And what stronger? Well, that's a pretty intense love. That one of the babies. Which, speaking of, oh my, okay. So my car was closed up for 8 days, and my bitchin' minivan.
It's your mom van.
I like my van, and I keep wanting to get a new car, and I want to trade. And I was sitting next to this woman once at a light, and I'm in my van, and it's a beautiful day, and she's in this Porsche, her top down. I was like, rocking it, mama. She's like, oh, I drove that car for many, many years. Like she had earned it. But every time I think about getting a new car, I haul kids, and I like a lot of kids, sometimes 4 or 5 kids, and a dog, and mother-in-laws, and so my minivan just works. I
want to have a minivan forever. When my kids are grown, I still want them.
Yeah. But back to the story. So I get in my car to go pick up because I got back from my trip, and the next day Charles and the kids got back from where they went, and I got in the car to go pick them up. Somebody left a meatball in a thermos cracked open.
That's disgusting.
Oh my! Fortunately, my dad gave me a bag of oranges, and so I'm sitting there airing out the car, peeling the oranges so that at least it smells like citrus. They're gross.
Citrus meatballs.
Citrus and meatballs. It's still. I'll take you to lunch. You'll see.
I can't wait.
You read this one.
Okay. This is from. Oh, that's why you gave it to me. Ksenia.
Sinja
V.
V.
Okay.
Do you need my glasses?
Nope. That was, look at all those letters in that name. Okay. Who are souls of animals? Are they the same souls as humans, making a spiritual contract for such reincarnation? Are they, as souls, different soul species in comparison to humans? Humans do unthinkable massacres to humans, where each individual animal suffers unbelievably. What is God's logic about it? All right. Well, I'm going to stop right there because it keeps going. I think we'll be able to address it and I can go back to it. But oh my gosh, whoever this person is feeling so much pain from these animals. And I want to emphasize that as souls, we all choose to have the experience we're having. If a soul, and we are all the same, there's not an animal soul family and a human soul family.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. And I'll tell you why. Because I learned that my new dog, Soba, was my human daughter in a different life. And it's interesting because usually we kind of do evolve from an amoeba to a human. You know, there's a phase, but and I'm not trying to say that they went backwards from a human back to a dog. I don't think it's like that. But I do think we do, you know, accumulate experiences and want to try something more sophisticated. However, I can totally appreciate being done with being a sophisticated human and just wanting to go experience unconditional love as a dog. So no, we are all pulled from the same place and we actually all come from the same God source energy. But keep in mind that when an animal chooses to be like food, you know, a cow in a dairy or you know, I don't know what they're called. What do you call a cow?
A cow in a dairy, a butcher, or
there you go. That kind, the kind you're going to eat. They know that there's a possibility that they're going to have that experience. These animals want that experience. And when you stop having judgment on an event, it kind of sets you free. And I'll use the example that many, you know, mediums and stuff have used before. Like when you see that homeless man on the street and you either, you know, people can think things like, oh, he's so lazy, or that poor guy, or all of these kinds of judgments. When I walk past that, I go, that's an interesting experience that they chose to have. I wonder what kind of lessons they're learning from that. I wonder what lesson I learned from that when I had that same experience. And that way, you know, you don't have to hurt by it because you understand it's just a role they chose to play. So humans suffer just like animals suffer. And again, it's all a choice.
What do you think though? Because the consciousness is not lower or higher because I mean, I guess you could say in animals, especially dog, I mean, that they are higher, but they're different. And so do you think, well, I guess it's the same thing. It's spirit wanting to experience these different versions.
It's all experience. It's just all, you know, you hear a lot, there is no right and wrong, there just is. So when you have an experience, it's just a lesson. It's just a learning experience to bring back to your soul self, to bring back to God, because God is learning about itself through its incarnations, whether you are an animal that has suffered or whether you are a human that is a caregiver and saving the animal that has suffered, or whether you're the human that murders the animal to eat it. Whatever it is, it's all experience to God. So in order to, you know, help your own tender heart, pull yourself out of that judgment place, see it from an expanded viewpoint, and see that God just wants to learn the duality of having this part of the experience and this part of the experience. It wants to know it all. So that's all it is.
Well, and I do, you know, you didn't finish reading, but you nailed it. It is, there is pain. And I think that seeing, I know, and I tell this story a lot. One day I was sitting in carpool and I hear about the kids that left Uganda and they disappeared. You know, I think it was Uganda. Anyway, the lost kids. And I was bawling. I mean, I was like, oh, shit. You know what? I missed a meeting. Anyway, I was just bawling, and I felt so helpless. And where are these kids? And I didn't take it to that place that, oh, they want to, I mean, I don't believe in stepping over people when you're called to help and when you're called to action. And saying, oh, that's their experience. I've heard people actually say that, and that really makes me crazy. Because I think we do have a duty to help when we can, and you know, when you're called to, but at the same time, I think finding a way to pull your energy in. Look at it this way. And this is really what I want to tell you is that I'm not saying you're no good to the earth if you're not here. I mean, I guess that's really true because, like, as you were saying in your question, you know, that you can't live in a world like this. A reality and that you may want to leave. And we need you here. And there is suffering. And that's where pulling in the idea that there is really actually a reason for suffering. And there's a reason for these trials. And we don't know what they are really. But if you can somehow boundary that emotion up and pull it back in and say, okay, I need to focus on the good. I need to focus on the light. I need to help where I can. I need to do what I'm called to do. Not, it doesn't mean you put your head in the sand, but at the same time, I think that we can begin focusing on only the negative and only, I know that, so I went down the rabbit hole. That's the name, Alice Eats the Apple. I went down the hole when I really started getting into the conspiracy theories and the shady side of life and the underbelly of life. That's why I could never be a cop, man. What the stuff they see just amazes me. But there are people that are built for that. And my guide Bob said, you can swim in that energy, in that cesspool. You need to see it. You need to know it exists, but you're not built for that. And mama, I'm telling you, if you're feeling that feeling of this is just too much, like sandpaper on a sunburn, then you're not built for that. You're not built to armor up. And so for me, what worked for me, and this is only what worked for me, is that I had to say, I'm a light bringer. Where can I bring the light?
Yes.
And that feels right to me. And that feels good to me. I had to shift oh my God, what am I supposed to do? And all these kids that are trafficked and they're all this, and there is some horrible stuff going on, but I have to focus on where can I bring the light? Where can I shine? Where can I show? And what is my mission in that? So maybe sometimes it's a little bit of retooling.
Yeah, I'm so on board with you because we all have our causes. There's not just animals that are suffering in this world. There are a plethora of problems going on, but you have your own cause and you have your own, what draws you. So and I hear what you're saying about, oh, that's an interesting experience they chose to have. That is a true valid way to live. But if you're called and it's really hurting you, then find a way to be a part of the solution rather than focusing on the problem and the shitty parts of it. That will heal you too. And I remember one time I was talking to Voltaire and he was talking about, I don't even remember what he was talking about, politics or something. And I'm like, I just don't give a shit about any of that. I don't care. Let somebody else do it. And he's like, kind of took on the thing. Well, you're kind of part of the problem then. But I said, well, I have my own cause and this is where I put my focus. So if you really want to help these animals, then send them healing light, find a way, go save your one rescue animal, find a way to make it positive.
Well, and it's control too. I think that it's feeling completely out of control. I think that when we feel that we're just at the whim of whatever may befall us, that's a pretty desperate place.
That is true. Don't be a victim. You can take control. Yeah. You can go and help these, and you can fight instead of just, the world is so cruel and it's hurting me. You say, you know what? I'm going to do something about this shit. I'm going to find a way to make myself feel better. I'm going to go save some damn animals in one way or another.
She's tough loving right now. And that, I think that really is true. I think that that's the biggest shift. What I think about this planet is that we do like to get into the victim role. Not like to, we're programmed to, not that we like to. And I think it's standing up and getting off your knees. I think
that's a really big part of spirituality is getting out of that victim place and learning to, grow your balls and get out there. And just to let you know, I see Jason's up here. Jason and I are going to do a video real soon where we're going to talk to animals, pets specifically. And oh my gosh, Jason, we have so many questions. We're not going to be able to answer them all, but go ahead and, try to find one of us somewhere else and you can.
Where can they find you?
Yeah, I know. Silver Lining Energy Healing. Go there.
Yeah, that's the problem. Okay. So, okay. I like this question.
Oh, what is it?
Okay. I'm sorry, I can't read it. I can't read the Sharon. It's Sharon. Okay, I have a question. Is all the DNA testing we can buy done to check up on us?
Oh, that sounds like a conspiracy question.
I could tell you I've not done it. I have not, and I refuse to do it. Though my dad did, so pretty much I did it too. But it is. I won't scan my retinas to go through, my husband said, oh, we're global, whatever, and we can zoom through security. And it's like, they're not scanning me. They're, in India, they did the scanning. It's a long story, but it is. And I'm telling you, I think so. I don't want it in a data bank, though I'm sure it already is. So I personally, kind of believe it is. I mean,
well, who cares though? I don't give two shits if the government or the aliens or anybody else knows what my DNA is. Why does that? Why do you not want that?
Well, that's a good question.
I want to spread the word. Check me out. I'm awesome. Scan my DNA, hear my brain, do it all. I'm an open book. I don't have anything to hide, so I don't know. I mean, thinking, is it like
hiding anything? It's about cataloging, and it's about. I mean, this is okay. I'm heading into Crazyville here. I get that, but it's about. I don't know. It's about finding out. Shit. I don't know. I don't really want to talk publicly about it, but I haven't done it, and I don't really want to do it. I want to do it. You can't.
Well, you know what?
I'll tell you. I did because I did.
Let me tell you about that though.
So I'm sure I already did.
You create your own universe. You create your own reality. So if having some kind of DNA thing is something that is a negative experience for you and you fear it, then you're going to attract some kind of, or even if it's just the fear, you just keep attracting the fear. But if you don't give a shit about being scammed, then you don't give a shit. So just don't give a shit. There you go.
Did you not see the Minority Report?
I did.
Yeah, I don't want that. Hey, Carrie, how do you like those gap size? Yeah, whatever. Read that one. I hope we answered your question.
Okay. Bummed I didn't catch this live. Well, it's live right now. Are you here? Just kidding. I don't know who this one is either. It doesn't say. I wanted to. Oh, I see. It's this light one. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's in yellow. You can barely see it. Okay.
Got being human.
You and something that you and Carrie said. Ooh, that's me. In your latest videos really impacted me. You both agreed you want to enjoy the experience of being human. It has totally shifted my perspective. That thought came to me a few times already this week. Once when I was a little irritated, and then I thought about that. My attitude changed in such a beautiful way. Hayu Masi. That means many thanks in Chinook. Wawa. What an amazing life we get to live at this pivotal time in human history. And I'll meet y'all at the mountain where the tiki torches are. Ooh, let's go. You know, you're right. It is an awesome and pivotal time.
There wasn't a question. I just wanted to include.
We really are learning how to just take control and just, I don't know. I like that we are totally just owning our shit and seeing how that works instead of just letting the game and life happen to us. We're making life happen for us. So good for you for being able to, have that shift and understanding that just be who you are, be your human self.
Well, I remember thinking, when will this shoe drop? When will the other shoe drop? And when am I getting cancer? When am I? Well, I kind of did, but when is all this stuff happening? I mean, as far as that stuff goes, it was pretty benign. Mm-hmm. No pun intended. Yeah, and I think that shift takes the victim out of it, and it takes the anyway.
No, it really does, because I'm all about, I'm not waiting for that shoe to drop. I know that I got nothing but good things coming my way, and I will have challenges, but I'm prepared to meet them head on. And I understand that each challenge that comes my way is not to beat me down and victimize me, but it's an opportunity for me to evolve and grow. So that's my big shift. I want everybody to start, doing that. I'm like, everybody can do what they want, but I'm going to preach that. You quit being a victim and you change your shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Go.
Okay. I think we're getting towards the end of the ones. Now this is this one I think we can both speak to. So, and it's really long, but basically this listener has, a son that is experiencing some things, and let's see, he's having some pretty scary experiences, and though we have really open conversations about what he's experiencing, I can tell that it's really starting to affect him. I'm wondering if you could point me in the right direction. I do have someone, by the way. I do have someone that would be perfect for this. She's afraid to take him to a regular Western therapist because of the diagnosis.
I get it. I've been there. For real.
But he's just a basic rundown of what he's going through. He feels that someone's watching him all the time, not a dark, evil presence, just annoying. And it probably is. It's probably, yeah, okay. And he has seen shadow figures, thank you, and things like kind of walking by over here. Uh-huh. So he sometimes sees things that tend to be scary. I can't understand if he's actually seeing it like clairvoyance or if it's more of a third eyesight. I think that might be about the same, huh? He sometimes hears his name being called. I did too. I've I've experienced that. As a toddler, he would tell me all kinds of things, and people he would seem to see things in his mind's eye before they happened to. He is just gifted. He sounds amazingly gifted.
That's all. That's all it is. I live in a place where I don't believe in. Well, I believe it in one level, in like negative energies and all the scary shit. I believe in it in that we can, as a human, if you do believe in it, you will attract that because that's an experience that you are asking the universe to give to you. But that doesn't have to be the place. If he's a little fearful of it, I suggest kind of guiding him towards embracing it and finding the light, because we are all light. It's all love. It's just the way you choose to perceive it. So if he's having these experiences that on some level his soul self wanted to, and as his parent, you also wanted to have this experience too. Here you are talking to us now. So this is part of your path. So guide him in ways that he's not fearful of it. And you really do have more power than you realize. You can ask these energies to, I don't know, back off. You're not ready for it. Or you can ask maybe for them to explain it more. And I feel things, I feel energies, but I don't necessarily get clear messages, or, my guides have to really thump me on the head with them. So I'm comfortable with going to a medium and asking for help. That might be in your path too. We're all taught to just figure it out for yourself, but the guides are here to help us. So you can take advantage of that too.
Well, I think that's excellent. I think that's great advice. I feel like a lot of times these are things that we just don't understand them. And what springs to mind is in The Sixth Sense, and he kept seeing these scary things, and it turns out they weren't scary. That's just how they died. I mean, which I guess could be kind of scary, but it wasn't. They weren't there to get him. And right. and I think that this stuff out of context can be really scary. But I know that one time this is years ago. This is like back in '99. At the time, it was my boyfriend, who is now my husband, and I had this dream. And I was in this dream, and this big nasty thing was there to get him. And I freaked out, and it scared me. And I realized that the more I fed it, it was fed by fear. And then finally, the person that I'm going to refer you to, I called her in my dream, I guess. And she's like, "Yeah, you're kind of like eating popcorn. You're like, yeah, you got this." And I turned, and I remember turning to this entity, this thing. It's like, "All right, motherfucker." It's like, "You've got to go. This is not going to happen." And it went, phew, and it was gone. And so truly, you can turn. I mean, obviously, when you see things like this, you turn, they're gone, because you're seeing it with your third eye, basically. And so you're not seeing it with your eyeballs, which I have a story for that too. But if he just needs to train this ability, because his humanness is disconnected from the other side, and the other side is what's bringing the stuff in, and the other side being him. I mean, it's like his spirit self is disconnected. So that once he faces it and once he sees it, and I don't believe in turning it off. I believe he came in with it. This child sounds incredible. He came in wide open, and it's about helping, like you said, it's about helping him work with it, manage it. And he sounds like he is just going to be a badass.
Go to Sixth Sense. And when he saw all those, dead people, and of course that was a movie, we needed to see that for our entertainment. However, in my personal theory is that he would be able to tell these spirits, "You're welcome to come and talk to me, but I don't want to see that scary shit. Well, you come to me in a non, hanging by a noose manner, and we can talk more."
Well, that's the thing though. And also your guides, there's a person, Rock the Divine, on YouTube, and she has a lot of these little short clips, and she talks about a lot of this, and that might be a great place to start, because her approach is really wonderful.
Okay.
And he can put the guides around that and say, "Okay, you know what? Bounce these bad boys out of here. Bounce between this time and this time." She will help him figure out how to control it. And that's, I think, all it's about, seeing it and controlling it. And he is probably being watched, by the way. I think we're all being watched.
Well, sure. I know I am. I'm interesting.
I got a lot to say.
Right.
Yeah.
But many of us are so envious of that gift. So we're like, grow it to benefit you.
Oh, this woman, the one that was struck by lightning, that is phenomenal. I mean, this woman is incredible. And she has all these gifts and she's like, I don't want it. I mean, she knows about planes that crash before they crash.
What's her name?
Changed in a flash.
It's not movie. It's not Bonnie, is it?
No. Okay. Oh, Bonnie McCliss.
Because somebody said they brought up the name Bonnie.
That's Bonnie McCliss. Okay. She's lovely. She's a friend of mine. She's anyway. So this woman and like she was on one plane and she has half. I mean, she has a professor at Rice that wrote this book with her and anyway, she died and she came back and she reports about it. Wendy and I talked about it and same person, but she was on one plane and the plane is going down. Y'all may have already heard this, but the plane's going down. And I mean, she meets the mom, she meets the child, and the mom introduces her. And the mom looks at her and she says, you can take my child off of this. You can leave. And she's like, how did you, kind of like, how did you? She's like, I can't take him. I can't take him. And so the plane crashed and then they looked it up and it really did crash. Wow. I mean, it like a couple of days after that, they found it. But the point is that she doesn't want to do anything with it. It kind of freaks her out. She just is like, and
that, that's her choice. But man, as an outsider going, like, damn,
you know what people pay to try to hone that skill?
Right.
I know. But I remember one of my sons, he was about 2 years old and he would walk around the house crying, saying, I just want to go home. I just want to go home.
Aww.
I understand, buddy. But yeah. And as a parent, it is really hard to watch it. And all the other scary stuff runs through our heads, which is, are we sure that's what this is? And it is. It sounds like he's just really gifted.
New and
and the veil is being peeled back and he's going, whoa. I mean, they've always said that because I say, okay, I want the walls down. I want the veil completely gone. I want it down. And
be careful.
And they say, and that's exactly what they say. They're like, because you're gonna have to see it all. And you may not be ready for it. But anyway. So thanks, guys. This is kind of short and sweet. And if you have any other questions, we like to do these every now and then. I'm not really sure that we answered all of them, but it's
the first run. And remember, like all the times we have techie problems. This just
we kind of a little bit, but it is. And I can't read that far.
Who are you looking for? Oh, I see Amanda. Hi, Amanda in UK. Hi, Jason. I love you. And Texas woman, my former neighbor has a connection to George Washington, and so do you.
Read between the lines. Okay. So says that my hair looks like
no, not anymore. She did come over with a George Washington do.
It was just like this. And I was perfectly happy with my hair until you chimed in.
Until you forgot the wigs. We forgot to wear our wigs. We're into lunch.
Oh my God. I bought this thing. And so my kids are terrified that I'm like getting ready to start wearing them again.
Oh, really?
We hate them. We hate them. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well, and we will see. I'm recording on Friday with
who?
It's a new friend, Jennifer, and she has just blasted wide open. It's like, I don't want to know anything about you. We're doing it all online.
Yes, be quiet.
Yeah, I don't want to know. And so because I want to get to know her, and she's
is she coming over? Are you going to do a? Oh, okay,
yeah, she's here. She's here. So it'll be fun. So we're doing that on Friday.
Let me brag about what I got coming up.
Go for it.
Okay, so one of the things I got coming up is Jason and I are going to talk to the pets. And then another thing I got coming up, and I haven't told anybody about this yet, but my friend Denise and she's going to channel my mentor, Audie Heron. And I don't even know if people are aware of who he is these days, unless you were in our group at the beginning. And he passed over. He was a mighty healer and somebody that we all loved. But for those people that don't know of him, I'm including a bonus. So I'm going to have Higher Self Charlie Goldsmith come on, and we're going to learn about
who's Charlie Goldsmith,
that little cutie healer. The Healer. He has his own show called The Healer. I've only watched it once myself, but he's pretty badass. He'll like cure cancer in 30 seconds. He's awesome. So I want to get some pointers.
John of God. I'm sorry. I am not a believer until I experience it myself.
Oh, me too. They call me Mrs. Doubt Fairy. I have to have my own, validations. But wait, there's more. I got a couple more things coming up. I'm going to finally tell my story of what my awakening was like. And I like to call it my twin flame bullshit.
It was a crazy ass awakening.
It was fucking crazy. And then the other thing I got going on, and I'm super excited for this one. Heather's going to come on and she's going to trans-channel our versions of when we were alive during Voltaire's time. She was Voltaire's lover. I don't know if they are actually consummated, but they were in love. And
you can't say lover, you have to say lava.
Lava. And her nickname was Pimpette. So she's going to trans-channel a different version of herself. And she's also going to trans-channel Jean-Françoise de Saint-Lambert, who is my other incarnation during that time. And I'm about to actually absorb that entity into this version of me. So I'm going to get some scoop about all of that. I'm very curious. So I'm so excited about that. So
I don't understand.
You'll have to watch this. So we'll have these. So check out Silver Linings and don't forget Stardust. And I still got plenty of great episodes of The Shiny Show if you haven't watched those yet.
You have a lot of the Shiny shows. They're all really, really good.
A couple hundred of them. Yeah. I just reposted the one where I got to talk to God, and that one really affected and impacted a lot of people. It was a life changer.
Did you blow out your ears?
I don't know.
I think you'd have a booming. I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's it. So that's my stuff. I got a lot of stuff going on right now, and we're taking off to California together to go hang out with Emma and her posse. And can't believe you're not going to stay for the.
Got your bag, man. Baseball calls.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much, and we will touch base with you next time.
Bye.
Now I have to turn it off.
Yeah, one of us has to lean forward and press the stop button. And